with Life Pro. I'm your leader and head of health and wellness. And greetings to all of you today joining us live on Facebook and YouTube. We are excited today to be launching two brand new products in our strength and fitness wellness departments. You see these products out here in front of me today. We're going to be gifting one of these products to one of you lucky members who is watching and engaging, and let us know what we can do to bring our best self to you so that you can be at your best self. I like to say that greatness elevates greatness. And so it truly is a pleasure and an honor to be able to serve all of you that are trusting us with your health, wellness, strength, and overall future well-being. So we are, again, streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. And so if you can let me know where you're listening from, which part of the country are you listening from, and what are you needing in your life in the form of strength conditioning, fitness, wellness, in order to live your best life yet. Go ahead and comment that into the comment boxes available so that we can give you an opportunity to win one of these products delivered to your doorstep in no time flat. So on behalf of Life Pro, I want to say thank you to all of you for trusting us. One of the reasons why Joel and Abe started Life Pro many years ago was for the opportunity to provide you all the resources to access different areas of your life, whether it's strength, whether it's endurance, whether it's pain management, recovery, whether it's biohacking into anti-aging. There's so many different things that we can do in order to make ourselves better each and every day. And they did that with the intention of you being able to provide resources at home at a cost-effective effort without having to go somewhere else or hire somebody else to provide you the opportunities to get better in life. 1% better every day is what we like to think. 1% better every day. If you just work 1% better every day, you have the ability to be a newer, better version of yourself, moving each day at a time, each hour at a time. I like to say, I like to live 1 hour at a time, because we really don't ever know what is yet to come. We want to hope for the best is yet to come, and we want to think that our past is our lessons learned. The opportunities is what we have right this very second, but we're motivated to being better because of what has yet to come into the future. So it is truly my privilege and my pleasure to being able to share with you some of these tips, tricks, and strategies as a certified athletic trainer, but also have been a strength coach, certified strength conditioning coach, and a certified speed and agility coach for a long time, over 20 years. And so we've been in this field for a long time, and I can tell you that for years, I wanted to own this gym in my home and being able to afford all the equipment. And until here in the last 3 or 4 years, that has not been achievable until now. And so you have the opportunities to have all of this equipment at your fingertips. And so that when you are down to time crunch because you're trying to juggle all things in life, you have the opportunity to maybe tap into some strength exercise or some balance exercises, 10 minutes here and there, but it all adds up. So it's not a matter of going out and conquering the day, doing an hour workout at a time. It's trying to get repetitions in anywhere and everywhere you can, so that the overall added effort to your day accumulates to greatness and vitality and quality of life improvements. There is no real age limit as to who uses our strength conditioning products. You can be a child learning how to balance, whether it's, you don't have to be an athlete. You can be somebody who's training to be a collegiate or a semi-professional athlete, or maybe you're a professional athlete. But there is no age limit as to who can benefit from these different products that we are coming out with to creating your own home gym, if you will. And for those of you that are seniors, I like to call you masters athletes, because you've been around time by decades. And so you're old enough to have experience as to what you want to do to improve your overall quality of life. And you have the ability, being 60 or 70 years old, to have these products in your home where you can feel safe and feel confident and continue to grind out as the timing and as your health allows you to. So today we're launching two different products. One of them is an entry level basic version of the other, and the other one is going to be it's referred to as um, our max device or max setting, and they're almost identical in how they work. One has more adjustments, one weighs just a little bit more, a whopping 4 pounds heavier, but it all comes down to space and how you're wanting to use this. So if you've ever heard of a Bulgarian squat, that means one leg is elevated back, the other leg is forward, and you're doing a single leg squat with one leg propped up. So that's what these pieces of equipment were intended for. But what I'm going to show you is you can actually use it for a variety of different things. And I'm sure next week we will experience a workout with Roseanne in how to utilize these two pieces of equipment for good instruction, good setup, good habits, because there are things you can do wrong with these that will lead to increased knee or hip pain. So we don't want to cause pain. But some of these might work better for you based in your home setup or what your goals are or how easy one might be to adjust versus the other. So we're going to go through that here. And as we are going through that, I would like to hear from all of you as to where you're wanting to get stronger at in your life, whether you're wanting stronger quads, you're wanting stronger glutes, overall hip control, core, because there's so many things we can do on these, or maybe you're wanting to improve balance. There's so many things we can do with our different pieces of equipment. And what I like to do, if you know me well, is I like to find all the extra things you can do with our equipment besides what it was intended for, so that you're getting the best bang for your buck with all the added things that you have in your space. So for those of you that are wanting to work on strength, quality of life, improving in how your body composition is, maybe you're wanting to lose some fat, resistance training is the secret to success for that. If we do too much cardio on a chronic level, more than 30 minutes a day for long steady state cardio without the highs and lows, the roller coaster ride, can actually lead into higher levels of inflammatory hormones going on in your system. And so if you're doing what we call chronic cardio, doing too much cardio, more than an hour a day, every day, not allowing for rest and recovery, and you're doing it at a high threshold, it actually breaks the body down and prevents the secretion of testosterone and growth hormones. And we need those in order to heal. So I want to show you how you can use the Bulgarian squat machines to hack into using or secreting more of those hormones to keep us from aging, but also to work on aging us backwards. So if you only have time to do certain parts of your workouts each and every day, you're always going to want to choose the resistance training, because resistance training, here's what I want you to remember. Sometimes we're put through situations in which we're not happy that we have to actually get stronger. I like to call those moments of adversity. And adversity are obstacles or challenges that are presented in our life that we really don't plan for. We don't sign up for those things. But in getting through those and in learning and adapting to get through those things, we usually come out stronger on the other side. We just don't figure it out for a while. You see, in order for us to get stronger, we have to have some kind of resistance, whether it's mental resistance, whether it's physical resistance. Some kind of resistance has to take place in our life when we are too much in the comfort zone, or we don't adapt and get stronger. And if we don't adapt and get stronger, then we're obviously not staying the same, we're getting weaker. So we don't want to get weaker, because that's how we end up in losing our quality of life. And by gaining strength and resilience and working through adversity through resistance, it allows us to live yet our best self forward. It doesn't matter how old you are, that ability always has the potential to come out if you see your opportunities as a way of getting stronger, even though we don't like it, right? So use these different Bulgarian squat machines as an opportunity to be in control of your resistance training, so that you can get stronger, so that you can balance and you can work on that body composition so you have more energy. And when we exercise, especially with resistance training, we actually secrete more of those happy hormones. So we have those natural painkillers, we have the serotonin, we have the ability to release toxins out of our system that have been there for however long. And so think about exercise. X is axing, exo, out. which means elimination. And we can do exercise in order to do that, in order to detox, think clearer, because I think some of our greatest ideas come when we're exercising. And depending on if we're listening to motivational music, or maybe you're listening to an audiobook, or listening to me in your den, or Debbie or Roseanne, you're getting moments of inspiration that want you to be better, because we just don't get better when we're on our own and trying to be in our comfort zone. Everything happens outside of our comfort zone. Growth happens outside the comfort zone. So we're here to bring you the resistance. It's just up to you to click the buy now button. These products go on launch tomorrow. We're doing this today on a Thursday because of challenges with scheduling. So tomorrow this will become available on the Life Pro website. It will be launched on our Amazon website as well. And so our launch price will be effective for the first several units that are sold. So don't delay in ordering. We've got two different products. We have the Intensiflex and we have the Intensiflex Max. Both of them are Bulgarian squat machines. The Intensiflex is going to be launched at $79.99, normally $99.99. And our Intensiflex Max is going to be sold at a launch special price of $103.99. And its regular price is typically $129.99. So if you're wanting it now, when you wake up tomorrow, buy now, because these products will be launching tomorrow officially. We're just giving you a little taste, a little soon, so that you can dream good thoughts tonight and you can dream forward into success with our products. So let's go through the differences in these two products, because they both do exactly the same thing, but the difference between the two and how you are wanting to use it from home is how they might come into handy for you, and those can be the defining differences. The defining differences is truly up to you as to how much space, how much to lift, how you're wanting to utilize it, how easy it is to adjust, and that is ultimately the only difference in pricing, is the different adjustments and how the moving parts, if you will. When we look at the Intensiflex, I'm going to bring this up close, and as you can see, it's light. I can toss it in the air. It only weighs 13 pounds, but it has a max capacity of 330 pounds. So anybody can use it, right? And I like to think that this one is a little bit different from the other, and that is more of a U-shaped on top with the pad. As to how it adjusts up and down is on a center stack, okay? I'm going to refer to this as the twin posts, twin towers, because it is just as simple as it is. It's more like an H frame. This is more like a U frame, okay? But again, super lightweight. I'm lifting this 13-pound machine, and it's easy to move around. When it comes to the make and manufacturing of it, it is made of powder-coated carbon steel. So it is made of a metal. It is not a cheap vinyl that's just put together. We do have non-skid feet on all four sides. It only took us 5 minutes. It took us 5 minutes to put it together. Both pieces of equipment take just 5 minutes to assemble. All moving parts that you're going to need in order to assemble come with. And then the actual pad that rolls is made of a type of poly leather, okay? So it is a nice squishy soft, and it does spin as you need it to, so it's not stuck in that one position. When it comes to the adjustments, this one has 7 different height adjustments. And if you look on here on the back, it does have a knob that you're gonna rotate. Lefty loosey, righty tighty is what I like to teach. And so as we rotate it to counterclockwise, we're going to pull out, and it easily slides up and down, and it clicks into whatever notch you want it to position it in. So let's just say that you've had a total knee replacement and you're wanting to do some of these split squats, but you can't get your knee up as high as you need to on a bench. I'm going to bring over a bench, because I think most people are taught to do a Bulgarian split squat using a bench. There it is, locked in, loaded. But you can see how low that is to the grounding surface. But if you have had a total knee replacement, you're going to have a very hard time getting enough flexion in that knee to really get the knee and the foot up high. So on this one, you can be loaded really low to the ground, okay? So when we look at the knee angle, turn this to the side, and you're getting some illusions here with my adjustable dumbbell set. But when we are looking at how easy this is to adjust up to, let me give you a better view here. The knee angle to stay in this position is pretty low. And you can keep your foot low to the ground where you feel more safe and balanced. So if you just want to slide off, you don't have to worry about getting stuck if it's up high. If you're one of those who really wants the pad high and you want to be able to really maximize that knee flexion in order to gain the greatest amount of resistance with your weights, or maybe you're not using weights, then it goes all the way up to a 7th height adjustment, okay? And so there's your knee flexion at that point. But if you've had a total knee replacement, you're not going to be able to get that high typically. So, and again, this rolls. So if you are doing your position and you're wanting to adjust or you feel unbalanced, it's really easy to get off of there. But the most important thing is how easy it is to adjust, okay? Super easy to adjust. The padded roller here is only 15 inches wide. When we're looking at the actual frame, the frame itself is almost cubical as far as dimensions goes. It is 21.5 inches by 24.8 inches by 22.05. So when we're looking at adjustable height and the fixed width, and then we're thinking about the distance from the top to the bottom, it really is close to that 20-inch cubical size. So, and again, user-friendly, soft and squishy. So if you want to go barefoot, a lot of people are barefoot lifting nowadays. If you don't want to wear shoes, you can position your foot on here and it's very soft and comfortable on your skin and on your bones. Remember that 25% of the bones in the human body are in the foot. So whatever pad you're utilizing for balance and support, we want to make sure that it's soft because we have lots of tendons, lots of nerve cells that are giving our brain feedback in our feet. And if we're not comfortable with how we are elevating our feet and positioning on another object, that actually changes how we balance and how comfortable we are at executing the exercise. So this is the Intensiflex. Now we're getting into the Intensiflex Max. And again, super lightweight. I can toss it up in the air. I can hinge it back and forth through my hands. We can go into looking at the bottom, which is an H frame or an I frame, however you want to look at it. Depends on which way you flip the shape, right? But the Intensiflex Max weighs just a little bit more than the Intensiflex. The Intensiflex Max is only weighing 17 pounds versus the 13.2 pounds, but both of them are less than 20 pounds. So super easy to move around. This one again has the non-slip protectant on the corners of these because again, we are producing these units out of powder-coated carbon steel. And in case you wondered, if you had something that you were going to take to have it powder-coated, it is really quite pricey to be able to have that custom ordered. And all of our products that are in the strength conditioning department are manufactured with powder-coated carbon steel. So it is a great value for what you're getting because we're not giving you just a pile of vinyl that's assembled or plastic that's put together. You're getting an actual metal assembled for you with some heavy-duty hardware, nuts and bolts. When it comes to the pad, this pad also spins. This one is going to be much more free and spinning because of its H frame than this one spinning on a tight U frame, okay? At the end of the day, does that really matter? That's up to you and how you're planning on using it. When we're looking at the size, again, this one also fitting in much of that cubicle box shape. We're talking 19.7 inches by 23.6 inches by 25.6 inches. This one actually has a height adjustability higher than the other. So the other one goes up to a max height at, I believe, that 22.05. This one's going to go all the way up to about 25. But again, we have 9 different levels. On this one, we have to adjust both sides at the same time. So that can be a little tricky. If you're somebody who has challenge in using your hands and you can't use both hands together at the same time, you're going to want to use that one because you can use both hands on one knob versus having to use 2 hands on 2 guided knobs to adjust. Okay. So again, we just rotate counterclockwise. We're going to slide out. These like pop out, and then you can slide, and then they lock into their coordinating slots. So I'm going to bring this up close in person to you so you can actually see this. Okay. And so again, the center padded roller made out of a poly leather actually spins and rolls. So it's easeability. It comes with all of the parts to assemble it in just 5 minutes. Okay. So lots of hardware on here to assemble in only just 5 minutes. Everything is included, so you don't need any extra fancy tools. And again, these are pull knobs. So once you adjust them counterclockwise, they pull, and that's what raises the unit, and then you're going to lock it in going clockwise. Okay. But again, 9 different levels of variability in height adjustment for the Max. Now remember, if you're listening in and if you're wanting one of these delivered to your doorstep as a free gift from us, I want to know, where do you need to get stronger in your life? Whether it's we're needing to work quads, we're needing to work the booty, we're needing to work the hip or the core, or maybe you're just needing to work on balance, because one of you is going to get one of these delivered to your doorstep. We're only giving away one today, but you actually get to pick which one you're getting delivered. So continue. I don't get to pick the lucky winner. Somebody backstage in our support team is choosing, so that it's completely unbiased from my standpoint for our favorite regulars that join us. But just make sure that if you are interested in receiving one of these, I want to know, like, where do you need work in improving in the quality of your life and strengthening and adding resistance so that you can grow, so that we can provide you the direction and the coaching in order to do that. Because it's one thing if you have the product, but where Life Pro really soars with greatness is that we're actually coaching you how to use our product for free. That's it, for free. And these have a lifetime warranty on them. So if you have any moving parts that quit working, we're going to take care of you, because we truly love our customer service, and our customers are the heart of how we operate. And so we're going to take good care of you. Today, the Intensiflex Max is $103.99, or let me rephrase that. It goes officially on launch tomorrow. So launching tomorrow morning when you wake up at 6 a.m., you will find our product for $103.99 until they sell through the first quantity of units that they delegate a certain number of units at that featured price, and then it goes right back up to $129.99. So it's like $29, $30 off if you order it tomorrow, and we're providing you with the information to do that. You can also order it off of Amazon when it becomes available on Amazon. It should be very much so the same timing as what we're releasing it for our traditional website. Now, again, max load is 330 pounds. The roller width on both units is 15 inches. So same width on both as far as the actual working part of the machine. And I think that those are the main things. So what I want to do, I want to show you, like I said, I have one of my favorite ways of utilizing our strength and well, really any of our devices. A lot of our devices are made for a certain indication or purpose, but what I love to do is I love to come up with many different ways of how to use the same product for a totally different purpose. So whether it's using it for balance, whether it's using it for flexibility, maybe we're trying to do some hip bridges and utilizing our booty, maybe we're working on breathing, okay? How can you work on breathing with the Bulgarian split squat machine? I'm gonna show you. And we are here to lead everything through as you are buying these products. We're gonna provide you the video footage, and so that you can put us on in your living room or in your home gym or wherever it is you send to listen to us, in the hotel room, if you tend to travel with it. We're going to make sure that you know how to utilize our amazing products so that you can get the best out of your life, because that comes back full circle to us. And we love being able to share our purpose with you. So let's talk about how you know if it's the right opportunity for you to get on one of these for the purpose of doing a Bulgarian split squat. A Bulgarian split squat simply means that you're elevating your back foot on a fixed object, and then you're loading the front leg into a split squat position. Some might refer to this as a split lunge. Some might refer to it as a split squat. Whatever language you recognize, it doesn't matter. We are just moving our body up and down, and we are in this position where one leg is back fixed, one leg is forward, and the upper body and the lower body and the core is moving in one line, okay? So most individuals, let me grab one of my benches here, because most people who do this at a gym or in their home are gonna use an elevated product. So I wanna show you why this is so important and why this product is so valuable. Okay, if I have my bench here for bench press, right? This is a regular loading bench press bench that you can move around. And this is not a Life Pro product, but here's what I want to show you why this is so important. If I put my foot up here, okay, I have a flat surface that does not contour with the top of my foot. So I'm actually straining and over flexing with plantar flexion my foot to get into the start position to execute this movement. So flat is not good for our bones and our tendons and our connective tissue. It forces the kinetic chain up into our core to work much differently. If the bench isn't the right height, we can only adjust a lot of benches up or down, and it still doesn't help us in having the right height. I'm still like a little off kilter, right? And if I'm wanting to really work a specific range of motion, and I've had a knee injury or a total knee replacement, it makes it really hard to use something not intended for that specific exercise. So for $100, you can utilize something created with a lot of adjustability just for that purpose. It's a win. And again, the Max, the Intensiflex Max, allows you to adjust it 9 different height levels so that it works for your height, for your limits, or for your opportunities, so that you can get the absolute best out of your product and the best out of your workout. Because there's one thing that money can't buy. Money cannot buy time as that has already passed, and it can't guarantee into the future. But if you can maximize your time with whatever intentions you have at making your life better, and you can have a piece of equipment to help you with that, that is a win for sure. Okay, so if you're wanting to look at the optimal angle, that can be different for each and every person based on your limits. So I'm going to start with a low level. Okay, we're going to start with a low level. And again, on the Max, we are rotating counterclockwise the push pins, the pull knobs, if you will. And in order to do this at the same time, I'm actually pushing my knee down. I'm bracing the unit because it's super light. That's one of the tricky things. When you have something that weighs a lot, you don't have to brace the bottom in order to adjust this because it's heavy. You're not going to relocate it. But when you have something ultra light, like the Intensiflex Max, you actually have to stabilize the bottom. So if you put your knees or one knee on the bottom on one leg, and you can put your foot down on the other if you choose that that's comfortable for you, then the uprights will stay put, the frame will stay grounded, and you can find that magic level of height adjustability that works for you. And I'm just going to start here at the very bottom, and then I'm going to rotate clockwise to lock this pin in. And now we're locked and loaded and ready to go. Okay, now let me lower my screen so that you can see everything going on here, all the moving parts, because I know you guys like to see things as they are. Okay, and again, what I would highly recommend is that you try this at home without any weights. We have the Life Pro adjustable dumbbell set here on one of the racking systems that we've made for it. but I want you to be able to see my body with the angle. And so how we're gonna start is our front foot, we wanna make sure that our front foot stays completely flat. And what you can do if you have compromised balance is we can actually get down on our knees and get down on the floor. We can put one foot up and we can just see if we can handle this positioning. Because a lot of you, when you're doing a Bulgarian squat, split squat, try and say that 3 times in a row, tongue-tied there. If you're wanting to do a Bulgarian split squat and you are wanting to go all the way down to the floor, you have to make sure that you're not loaded with weight and that you can actually get to the floor. So sometimes it's good to start from the ground and work your way up versus starting from up and working your way down. So I'm making sure that I've got the proper mobility in my foot ankle joint and my shin alignment. I can actually hold on to this post as I get my other leg in the front. We want a 90-degree angle in our knee and in our foot ankle. So 90, 90, and then that equates to 90 here at the hips. So think 90, 90, 90, okay? My foot is comfortable right here. So from here, I'm gonna put my hands down and I'm just gonna stand up from here, okay? Now that is a big, big jump for me, okay? This is gonna be really uncomfortable for me because I'm not used to getting into that position. So what we can do is bring the other leg back just a little bit. So we're diverting from 90, 90, 90, because that doesn't feel safe to me. It might feel safe for some of you, but that's how we want to get set up, is just seeing what feels safe, what does not feel safe. From here, you can use your knee, you can use your hands and rise up. And this feels much smoother, but I'm telling you right now, my booty is already firing because I have to stabilize this back foot in order to stay balanced. So if you have trouble with balance, just doing this right here, I call this ready, set, go, when I'm working with elite athletes to making them run faster again or teaching them how to run faster again. This is an easy way just to work on firming up that butt, using your core, working on those thighs, working on ankle mobility, foot ankle mobility all the way below the knee. Because if you don't have that good range of motion from your foot ankle all the way up to your hip, you're gonna feel it somewhere else. And so we wanna make sure that you're utilizing this as well for mobility gains as opposed to just trying to get stronger, okay? And remember, we're providing resistance with gravity, so you're actually going to get stronger without adding weight just by working on your mobility and your range of motion. So we're actually increasing resistance as if you were doing nothing, standing, just trying to load squats. We're actually requiring more on your body by maintaining this position with coming up and down. So I'm going to go back through that again. We're going to start by putting the foot up here, okay? And for me, this is a comfortable position. If I want to sit back and get a good quad stretch here, good hip flexor. So if you got a tight iliopsoas muscle, we can actually use this for stretching out the hip flexors and for these deep abdominal stabilizers. We have our foot up. We can take our hands up, push high into the sky, and we can draw rainbows. We can draw rainbows side to side, and that will actually lengthen out that hip flexor, which actually softens low back pain. That's one of the leading causes of low back pain. So you can use it for a variety of different things. In this position, just getting set up and getting comfortable, I'm actually using it for flexibility and mobility. So it's a win. Again, I like to hack into different things, different ways of how to use the same machine for a lot of different things. So if you look at the front foot, the ideal position to start, just to see if you have it, is 90, 90, and 90, okay? And from here, if I want to come up to here, we can just work this motion right here. Just coming up and picking the knee up, okay? I'm actually working my opposite butt cheek a lot. And so if you're not wanting to come all the way up because you don't feel good with balance, you can work this right here. It actually works quite well. But again, for me, this is too much of a stretch. This puts me in a very uncomfortable, unstable position. So I'm gonna slide back just a little bit, okay? So foot goes up. I'm gonna bring this foot from a 90, 90 to a little closer to me because I feel more stable. And from here, I'm gonna pop my hips up and then I'm going to rise. And we want a straight line from our shoulder to our hips to our knees to the floor. So we don't want to be standing up here, okay? And if we lean back, that makes us unstable because we're rolling off. So there's a variety of different ways that you can get set up with that, okay? I'm just going to tell you, once you get really comfortable with just getting into the position, you don't have to go through that every time. You'll start with your foot behind into a split. So I'm splitting the machine in between my halves of my body. You can use your fingertips if you can reach fingertips to the posts and get yourself set up here, okay? And for me, that's a little too close, so there we go. And so from here, standing straight line, I can just drop down and come up. So this is one example of a split squat in which I'm stable. And again, there's a lot of different ways in which you can do it, but that's an easy way of getting started. Now, I mentioned to you before, if you have a choice on doing cardio, resistance training, walking, what have you, to improve your quality of life, and you're limited on time, cardio can be more tricky and challenging and can wear your body a little, wear it out a little faster in an inflammatory level. So resistance training is ideal for everybody. But what's really cool is if you can hear my voice, I'm starting to elevate the heart rate without adding weight. So you can actually get a cardio workout in at the same time that you're doing these exercises, because the heart rate comes up. And although we're not moving with impact, we're strengthening with resistance on our muscles and our joints, which elevates blood pressure and heart rate, which is what our heart needs in order to continue to thrive and detox. So you can get it all in just doing resistance training. It's just a matter of how you decide to execute the exercises, okay? Now, once we add weights to this, I'm gonna add 15s because I know that that works for me. So I'm just gonna position those down here on the floor. I'm gonna get set back up again. If this is too low for your knee, what you can do, I show you, is you can get yourself a pad or a pillow, and you can build this up. We have these little memory foam blocks that work really well, that are half-size blocks, and you can get these on Amazon. They're just memory foam blocks. And if this is too low for you to go and you're wanting to stay in this position, then when you drop down, your foot is at a comfortable position, your knee is at a comfortable position, and your knee is in a comfortable position with support so that you're not overusing your knee. So if this is the proper position that works for you height-wise at the lowest setting, this is how you can change the angle in the knee without overstressing it if you've just had a recent knee procedure done or a recent knee injury, okay? Okay, now from here, I'm going to grab my weights and I'm actually gonna push down into the ground instead of lifting up. I want you to think about pushing down into the ground. And I like to keep my head up, but if you wanna drop your body, your upper body forward as you're dropping down, your angle here in the thigh, working through your upper body, should make a parallel line with the leg angle in front of you. So we should have parallel lines running this way between my shoulder into my knee and whatever angle I have in the front. In order to not, whoop, I didn't have that locked in. Sometimes that can happen. Let's see if we can fix that. Let's try this again. It should be 15. Okay, hopefully it doesn't fall off. If it falls off, that's my bad. Okay, so from here, I'm driving my foot into the ground, into the pad, and dropping back down. So yes, I am bent forward just a little bit here, but if I keep my head and my chest high, then we can maintain good alignment without overstraining the joints, okay? So that's how you're gonna load with the weight. You don't have to use weight if you're not wanting to use weight. Let's adjust. So another way you can do this is you can step on the supports to keep them there. Make sure that we go counterclockwise to loosen up, counterclockwise to loosen up, pop out, and slide. Now let me show you something here. For those of you who are wanting to work on your booty, but you can't balance very well on one leg, let me show you something really cool that you can do. This is not super high enough that it works for me. And let me grab a mat so that you can actually see my body on the floor. Makes it easier if you can see my clothes moving where there's a lot of loose space. There we go. And you don't have to use a mat. I'm just showing this to you for just so you can actually see my body. And what we're going to do is what's called a glute hip bridge. We actually have another machine created just for that purpose. But if you're wanting to multitask and have one machine doing multiple things, you can elevate those ankles up high. And we can, if you have low back pain, this is a great exercise for low back pain. So I want you to imagine that you have a belt buckle and you're tilting the belt buckle, okay? This is a subtle movement. It's a pelvic tilt, posterior pelvic tilt. So we're rocking the belt buckle towards your chin, and from here, you're just lifting up. And I'm not going up high, because if I push hard through my feet, then I will roll forward, okay? You can do that if it works for you, but I'll just tell you, my weight is on my Achilles tendons on this padded roll, and it actually feels quite lovely. So you don't have to worry about pressure points. And I have fibromyalgia, so I feel pressure points on everything. All right, so I'm going to engage my deep core abdominals and my deep pelvic floor by rocking my hips back and pushing energy into the ground as I use my glutes and my legs to lift up. And then we're slowly coming back down and we relax. If you want to make this a notch harder, we take hands into the sky, rock back, push high into the sky. You can draw a rainbow if you want to with the arms, or get some extra movement in there. Drop back down and relax. Where was this during the pandemic when I was doing all of those live videos, like hundreds of live videos for workouts, and I was always trying to find some place to put my feet? We needed this machine, so I'm thankful that we have this now. You'll see a lot more of that stuff coming out. So again, and if you want to make this harder, we go one leg up in the air. We engage those hips and abdominals by tilting that belt buckle towards you. And then we push high into the sky with the one, and then we come back down, and then we can switch. Pop up, drop back down, and switch. So you can do a lot of great things. For those of you who love doing side leg elevated planks, this is another great thing that you can do, is you can utilize this because of the padding. My leg is up high, and remember, this has nine different height adjustable levels. So we can put leg up high. I'm actually going to pop my hips up as a bridge, and now I'm doing side leg lift in a plank position where my leg is supported with that padded roller. That is not something to do if you are a beginner and you've never tried that before. It is much harder than it looks, okay? If you're wanting to work both legs at the same time and working that plank, we can work in maintaining this position right here, drop it down, pop it up, drop down, pop up, okay? So there's, again, I like being able to find different ways to doing things with the same product without having to buy a lot of different things. And I like to find different hacks into how to use something. So there's just some very, very fast, quick ways in which you can utilize your product for some different purposes. Now we're going to go to the high level for the split squat. And again, I'm positioning my knees on the uprights so that I don't have to hold the machine down. It doesn't get away from me. When they're super light like that, it's easy for them to get away. And here's a little secret for you. If you have trouble with balancing this and keeping it in the same position, get yourself some sandbags. Get yourself an ultimate sandbag, or get yourself a weight that you would use to keep a tent staked, and use that across this I-beam, because it'll actually help you in keeping this stable if you're having trouble with balance, okay? And so again, we're gonna go position here. And here's what I want you to do. I'm gonna show you this from the front, because one of the biggest mistakes that you can make with this machine is bad knee alignment, okay? Bad knee alignment. What does that mean? It means that we are overusing our hips in a way that's not beneficial. So foot comes up, okay? What a lot of people will do, my logo's a little crooked, so I look like I'm crooked. What a lot of people will do is they'll drop the knee to the inside, okay, inside. You want to be able to see airspace. You want to be able to see space between. So my hips, if my hips are loaded standing, okay, I'm going to take my foot up, okay, and from here, when I drop down, I want my knee to go just a little bit to the outside, because this leg isn't doing much loading right away. I'm pushing my back foot, push it into the pad as you lower yourself down. And for me, I don't want to go all the way to the ground because my knee can't handle that. But you can just work on balance, right? We can just work on balance. If you're trying to learn how to do a single leg deadlift, which is one of those, okay, we just stand tall and we're trying to drive our foot behind us on the back. If you're trying to learn how to do that, but you don't have good balance, we can actually start with practicing as if we're here, and we can actually work on stretching this leg out by just simply leaning forward. You're going to get a tremendous stretch along the hamstring. So if you're struggling with that, you can use that for a stretch. The other thing that you can do, which is really cool, is you can use this for a standing leg stretch. And because it has the I-beams, we can reach forward, okay? And take a little hop forward so I'm not so far away from it. We can reach forward, and if you keep your head and your chest tall, instead of bending here at the thorax or at the waist, if you keep your head and your chest high and reach for the uprights, it is a massive stretch in both hamstring on this side and booty on this side, okay? The key is not allowing this foot to be pointed when you lean forward with your head chest high. The key is keeping toes to your nose. So keeping toes to your nose, parallel straight lines with your feet, head chest is high. And if you need something for balance, just reach for those posts as a balance and then stand back tall, using your butt to pull you back up instead of using your back. So squeeze that butt cheek on the backside and pull yourself back up. That is a really easy way to use that as a stretching agent as opposed to as a strengthening tool, okay? So that is our Intensiflex Max. Again, super lightweight. Tomorrow goes on sale for the first time for $103.99. Regular price is $129.99. Now we're going back to the original basic Intensiflex. Okay, weighs a whopping 13 pounds, super light. Can do a lot of moving around with this one. I like to say it's in a U-shaped frame because the pad is attached to a U-shaped bar, okay? We still have an I or an H frame at the bottom so that we have plenty of support forward to backward. And again, on this one, you only have to have one knob supported to adjust. And so if you rotate the knob counterclockwise until it becomes loose, you just pull out on it and slide it up to wherever you want it to go. And again, this one only has 7 levels of height adjustability, a max weight load of 330 pounds, so you're gonna be fine. We don't have to worry about things snapping in half. And again, you can use these pads if you need to. These are sold on Amazon. They're memory foam blocks that you can get that are half shaped, and you can use those if you need to cushion your knees. But again, we kind of do the same format in getting into a starting position. We're gonna go, foot is elevated, okay? And if this is too high for some of you, you can see my foot is like really pointed. So here's another thing that you can work on. If you're trying to work on eliminating shin splints or plantar fasciitis, you can actually use those positions in order to work on that. How would we do that? We can actually lay, let me get my mat out here so you can see me. You can actually lay with your body on the ground, and you can elevate your foot from behind, and you can actually work on pushing that position into the top of your foot. So if you have trouble with actually mobilizing your foot, you can use this as a position and adjust the height in order to increase the mobility in your foot ankle joint while staying in a nice relaxed position, okay? Don't wanna go off topic, but as I showed you a second ago, if you're wanting to use this in learning how to do some hip bridges or some side planks, it works the same way. So side lying, okay, and toes to nose. And from here, I'm lifting my body up, and then I'm bringing the other leg too. And this is gonna work everything, fingers to toes, literally everything, and deep in your pelvic floor. And if you're wanting to go both legs, and again, adjustment height is all dependent on your comfort zone. So if you just can't get that leg up there and you're wanting to work on that, just adjust it to the lowest height. Here we are in a side lying position, and all we got to do is just get the hips and the butt up off the ground. And then if you want to lift a leg up, to get used to that, drop down, pop up, lift, and drop. We can go one leg down, one leg up. You can work in putting resistance bands on here. So we're here. That is a much smaller difference. It's actually harder to do the split leg, to do one leg at a time at a lower level, because you don't have enough room to move. The other thing is, if you are trying to work on hamstring or calf strengthening, toes to nose, drive the energy into the weight, or into the bolster, the roller. And from here, we can just hold this position, because it's not as much strain on the low back, the lumbar spine, and the sacrum. And we can just work on breathing. We just work on breathing while we're elevated with our hips, but it's not at such a height that we're compromising our low back. So there's a lot of different ways in which you can position. If you're wanting to work on box breathing is breathing in for 4, holding for 4, blowing out for 4, holding for 4. And what I like to do when I'm doing that, it is really hard to hold your breath in your chest through your neck if you are trying to talk a lot, or if you're trying to hold. A lot of people will like tense up in their neck, so I can always tell if they're using their neck instead of using their diaphragm. But for box breathing, if we can get you into a 90-degree angle here, 90 at the knees, and I'm a little higher, but we're going to work with it. 90 at the knees, 90 at the hips. Okay, and in here, I'm just going to take my hand, I'm going to put left hand to my heart, right hand to my belly, and we're just going to breathe in for a count of 4 where I'm nice and controlled. And when I breathe in, my belly is going to rise. I'm going to hold that breath for 4 seconds, and then I'm going to blow it out for 4 seconds, nice and controlled, like I'm almost blowing through a straw. And then we're going to hold for another 4 seconds before we breathe in through our nose again. It is really important to breathe in through your nose instead of through your mouth, because when you breathe in through your nose, especially with the air quality that we're dealing with, the air is being filtered and cleansed by micro hairs in your nasal cavity, and we don't have those micro hairs in our throat. So you can actually enter bacteria, viruses, all kinds of microorganisms by breathing in through your mouth all the time instead of breathing in through your nose, which is what your nose is intended to do. So breathing in through the nose, hold for 4, blow out like a straw through the mouth for 4. Hold, breathe. Hold, blow, hold, and then we repeat that. It's 4 counts, 4 different series of the breath. They call it box breathing, okay? It is really easy to learn how to do that when your feet are elevated. And the idea is, of course, if your feet are elevated, then you can feel your belly and your chest working together, but you can also activate that pelvic floor more efficiently with the diaphragm, and you can actually feel the power zones coming to life. So this is a great relaxation meditational exercise that leads to maximal power, maximal strength gains. Stress reduction is the fastest way to increase vagal nerve tone and decrease inflammatory hormones in the body is box breathing. So it's an easy way to do that using the same unit that you would do your split squats with. But again, both of these are made near identical. The Intensiflex has 7 height adjustments. The Intensiflex Max has 9 different height adjustments. The Intensiflex weighs 13.2 pounds. The Intensiflex Max weighs 17 pounds. Both have a max capacity of 330 pounds. Both are made of powder coated carbon steel. Both have 15-inch poly leather rolling bolsters, which are awesome, by the way. So there's a lot of different things that we can do with this. If you are one of those who is wanting to work on pistol squats, but you're not good at pistol squats, I'm not good at pistol squats for what it's worth. I hate doing pistol squats because I don't think I'll ever end up in having to do a pistol squat for me to survive in my life at the age of 45. But it's one of those things that a lot of athletes do in order to get stronger. And if you're trying to work on getting into a pistol squat with a little bit of support, you can start with your leg elevated. And from here, we're just going to trace down as if we're going to sit down and come right back up. So you can actually work on strengthening the quad, the VMO, with control with your foot elevated. And you can change this. I'm at the highest height. So if I drop that down, it makes it much, much harder. But you have to start somewhere. It's also a really good stretch on those hip flexors and hammies. Yes, so many squat options, so many squat options, so much versatility if you're willing to get creative. And of course, your leader here loves being creative, and it's kind of a game for me to see everything that I can do to make things more complicated with the same piece of equipment, because I like simplicity, and that's what I love about our products is we can use simple things to do complex tasks. Another thing that you can do with this one is make sure I'm screwed in nice and tight, is if I'm wanting to go into, let's say I'm wanting to work on tricep extensions, but I don't want to do it on a bench. We can work on holding on to, now this rotates, remember, but we can work on doing tricep extensions in a kneeling position. Okay, notice how I'm not bending here. Okay, my body is moving from my shoulder to my knee. Okay, so you can actually grip that so that your palms are not flat on something, because when your palms are flat on the ground, and those bones on your hands are super sensitive, it can be a little uncomfortable to do that. So you can do that. There's so many things you can do with this. And like I said, if you're struggling with just doing push-ups, this lowers all the way down to the ground. So you can get into a kneeling position, wrap your hands around the unit. Let me do this with both, but I want to bring this other one back in here so you can all see it. One of the greatest pieces of advice that I learned years ago was don't cheat your push-ups by working in a compromised kneeling position, because your body operates totally different when you're in a kneeling position. So what you can do, and if you're one of those who doesn't like having these uprights, then you can go with the other. When you are pushing down, it is pulling towards you the energy on the other on the other unit. When you're pushing down on this, you have the uprights. So if you're wanting to work on push-up form and you're wanting to lower this a little lower to the ground, you can actually work on pushing away until you get strong enough that you can actually hold the plank more here. And then instead of positioning your hands on the ground where it's flat, you actually can position them here. But just remember that this thing rolls. So we don't want any broken wrists. We don't want any face bumps. So just make sure that you're stabilizing really well. But those of you who are wanting to get really creative, you can do that. Because this has a weight capacity of 330 pounds, you can work on squatting and standing, right? How many of you are struggling with just standing and squatting and you're trying to get different height adjustments so that you can work on that? So on this one, because it's an I-frame and it's got very stable supports, as I'm teaching proper squat technique, I like to tell my clients to pretend as if they were sitting on the toilet at home, okay? Sitting on the toilet at home. And so I'm going to turn this to the side so you can see this. Get all of this black out of the way so you can see the form. But if we are standing in front of the unit, I've got my uprights here so I know where I'm at. There's the bar. Stand back tall, squeeze the booty, okay? So we're nice and tall. Drop down. Don't sit and load on it. You can if you want to, because it's 330 pounds of resistance available, and then rise back up. So if you're having trouble getting into proper squat technique, if you squat like a lot of people that we see do, where the knees go way in front of the body, you're not gonna sit comfortably on here. You're gonna feel like your body is away from you. So if you're wanting to work on getting those angles down better to where you're just barely hovering, you can actually use this as a guide of knowing, okay, where's my body? Okay, there's the uprights. Yep, I know where I'm at. So it's kind of a safety in some ways. And if you are trying to work on improving that without having to have all these different things sitting around for height adjustments and knowing that you can continue to progress, you can use this type of equipment for doing that. So yes, so I think we've been talking for quite a while now. So I want to make sure, yes, it's a potty squatty. I love that. Potty squatty is definitely a good concept. How many of you have squatty potties in your bathroom? I have squatty potties in all of my bathrooms because there actually is a proper way to use the potty. And if you are struggling with pelvic floor health and constipation, all that good stuff that we love to talk about, right? As we get older, squatty potties are pretty awesome and positioning your body in the optimal position. So if you haven't learned anything from this series of this product launch yet, go on the internet and type in squatty potty and see how powerful it really is. It actually makes a huge difference in your overall health and in your detox and evacuation. So it's pretty cool stuff. So I learned that when I was having hip and pelvic pain after having a total hysterectomy. That was the first thing that my pelvic floor therapist taught me, was to have a squatty potty and proper potty positioning. So I like teaching my clients when I'm working with them on improvement of low back pain, pelvic, integrating the core, like just imagining that you're sitting back on the potty with your head and chest high, because if we're using a squat bar, especially for kids in the weight room, the first thing they do is look down. And when that happens, their whole body goes forward. So they don't have the mobility in their foot ankle. But we have a winner. My backstage team has sent me a message as to who our favored winner of the day. And so for all of you who are listening in and watching, thank you all so much for giving us your time today, because I know life is busy and time we can never get back. So I really appreciate you sharing whatever time you've shared with us and you've commented. And for those of you who are not winners, remember this goes on sale tomorrow, which would be June the 30th. So June the 30th is the big day for this to break free, and you get to order it at 20% off the regular price. If you are buying this after the launch date, and it's back to the regular price for the Intensiflex, it is $79.99 for sale price. This is the Intensiflex, okay? Intensiflex, remember, is more U-shaped and only weighs 13 pounds. They're both really about the same size. When you nest them together, they kind of fit almost inside of each other. But the Intensiflex goes up to right at $100, $99.99 after the launch series is over with. And if you happen to want the product after that price has jumped back up, use the discount code AMBER10, AMBER 10, in your coupon discount box for your order summary if you order from the Life Pro website, and it will knock you a little bit of change and some dollars off of there if we're not running other promotions. And then when it comes to the Intensiflex Max, this normally sells for $129.99, and starting at launch tomorrow morning, you'll get it for $103.99. And again, that same discount code applies if you are wanting to get other products that are not on special. You can use that discount code AMBER10 anytime with any of our products, as long as they're not already running a super special. So it'll give you some extra money off your price. And all of our products, as always, come with a limited lifetime warranty. So we're always here to take care of you, and you get the free coaching from yours truly and the other two amazing ladies that work along with us. And so keep your eyes posted for live videos with Debbie and with Debbie and Roseanne. Now, our winner of today is Barbara Kessler. Barbara Kessler, you are our lucky winner today. If you could text me directly your first and last name as you want it spelled, because I know like our face name, our profile name can sometimes be different than who we really are. So make sure and text me your first and last name your email address, your shipping address, and your phone number so that we can have our team reach out to you to make sure that you get this delivered to your doorstep in the next short time, this next week or so. And that number that you can text to me directly, my direct number is 317-446-7971. Again, 317-446-7971. And if you want to reach us by email, you can always contact our customer support, which is support@lifepro.com, and they will be happy to answer any questions or any warranty challenges that you have. If you have trouble reaching any of our customer service, don't hesitate to reach out to us via Messenger. Send us a DM through Messenger, utilizing Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. And we are always looking at that stuff. So, and again, if you have trouble reaching through everybody, you can always default and contact me through my direct text number, but I don't always answer back within the same day by phone call. So we'll have somebody contacting you. Just please, if you could spare us, don't contact all those helplines at the same time, because it kind of pulls us all into the mix, and then it gets really confusing as to who is helping who. So if you can't reach anybody, feel free to reach out to me. But Barbara Kessler, congratulations on being the lucky winner today on this product launch. And Barbara, if you could also let me know, do you want the U-shaped unit, or do you want the upright I-frame, H-frame? The Intensiflex is the IH upright. I call it the twin tower frame. And if you're wanting the U-shaped frame, that's the Intensiflex. So thank you all for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys again next week. And we're losing power because the storm's coming through. So peace out to all you. Be safe and enjoy your time. And we look forward to talking to you again soon. Much love to you all. Have a great day.